Hello everyone, welcome back to another video about IB Math. We're continuing our topic on linear functions, and in this video we're going to introduce the general equation for a straight line. But before we do that, I want to show you how the general formula actually works. And to do that, we're going to start off with an equation for a straight line, and I wrote it down here, y equals 2x plus 1. What we're going to do now is we're going to plot this line. So to do that, I drew a table here, and I'm going to find values for x and y together, which means I'm just going to put in values for x in my equation and find the corresponding value for y. I'm going to do that for 2 points. That's all we need, just 2 points. And then I'm going to plot these points on my Cartesian plane that I already sketched here. And then we're going to get the gradient from the line and then just look at how the equation actually works. All right? Okay, so step by step. Just let's get values for x and y. I'm going to start off easy. I'm going to start with x equals 1. And if I plug that into my equation, then I get y equals 2 multiplied by 1. So instead of x, plus 1. Which gives me 2 multiplied by 1 is 2, and so 2 plus 1 is 3. Okay, so when x is 1 for this equation, for this line, y is 3. Then I'm going to say, okay, what if x equals 2? Then in this case, y equals 2 multiplied by 2 plus 1, which is 4 plus 1, which is 5. So when x equals 2, y equals 5. And these are my 2 coordinates. I'm going to plot these on the graph. So when x is 1, y is 3, which is here. Okay, this is 3, and this is x is 1. When x is 2, right here, then y is 5. So if you look up, it's going to be here. Now if I plot this line, it's going to look like this. Okay, so I have my line now. And then we're going to use knowledge that we introduced in the previous videos for this unit to get the gradient. And what we mentioned before in the previous videos is that the gradient equals, I have 2 ways to do it. I can use a formula which says, okay, gradient is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Or I can use the rise over run from the line itself by drawing a triangle and then getting the gradient that way, measuring the y distance, which is 4, and then measuring the x distance, which is 2, and then saying m is rise over run, which is 4 over 2, which is 2. If we use the formula method, then I'm using my coordinates themselves. And then y2 minus y1, let's say this is point 1, or point A, is point B. So y2 would be 5, and y1 would be 3. So 5 minus 3 over, and then x2 would be 2, and x1 would be 1, which gives me 2 over 1, which is also 2. So either way, I'm getting the same answer. the gradient equals 2. Now, there's something else you need to know about straight lines, is that we care about where the line crosses the y-axis. Okay, and I'm talking about this point here. So for this line, it crosses the y-axis at y equals 1. And something else to always remember is that if I'm saying this coordinate, if I'm describing it as a coordinate, the coordinate of this point is x is 0 and y is 1. All right? So this is actually called the y-intercept. So if you think about it just logically, intercept means meeting something at a specific point or cutting it off at a specific point. So my y-intercept has coordinates 0, 1. If I write it just as a number, not a coordinate, then my y-intercept is 1. Now I want you to just take note of these two numbers. The gradient is 2, and the y-intercept, which we give it a letter C, usually, is 1. Okay? Now I want you to, while taking note of these numbers, let's take a look back at our actual equation. And our actual equation says y equals 2x plus 1. Do you see these numbers in the equation? Yes. There's our 2. There's our 1. Now that's not a coincidence. In every straight line equation, this is going to happen. The m is going to be multiplied by the x. So in every equation that has y equals, so y is the subject of the equation, we're going to have the gradient here multiplied by the x, and then we're going to be adding to it the y-intercept. So this actually is the general equation of a straight line. Y equals mx plus c. So if you see any equation for a straight line where y is the subject, you're going to find the gradient multiplied by the x, and you're going to find the y-intercept added to it. Okay? So I want you to keep that in mind. Y equals mx plus c. M is the gradient, and c is the y-intercept. All right, that's it for this video. Do watch it again, I recommend, because it's an important part for this unit, and we're going to be using it in a practice question in the next video, and also using the distance formula, the midpoint formula. So we're going to be putting everything together in some practice in the next video. I hope this was useful, and I'll see you in the next one.